Hello and welcome to SGPN's The Daily Dog. I'm your host, Britton Hess. I'm here with my favorite Underdog fantasy pick and plays for Monday, June 23rd, 2025. If you're new to Underdog Fantasy, sign up promo code DailyDog. That's DAILYDOG at UnderdogFantasy.com or on the Underdog Fantasy app for a 50% deposit match bonus worth up to $1,000. Literally the best deposit match out there, so you might as well take advantage of it while you can. Not sure if it's going to be up all summer. Last summer, the promo went down a little bit and then came back up to 1,000 when football season started up. I don't know anything about that right now. I think they're going to let us just keep on rolling with this deposit match bonus of Daily Dog for 50% deposit match bonus with up to 1,000. But I have no control over that. What I do have control over was telling you guys about the extender. Hopefully you guys use the extender throughout the NBA Finals. The active users on Daily or on Underdog Fantasy, that was pretty cool to have 100% boost available for Game 7. So hopefully you're able to use that. Underdog is the best daily fantasy pick'em site out there. So use it if you're not using it yet. All right, on Friday, we hit a couple entries, hit NBA or MLB with Gleyber Torres, fantasy points, and Bryson Stott, HRR, hits, runs, RBIs. That was beautiful. Hit a pitcher entry, hit a WNBA entry, and had a couple refunds due to some different things, and a couple near misses as well. Dong Squad, oh man. This Dong Squad, man, I hit two good ones there, and they just did not match up in the right Dong Squad entry. But we'll try to get that on the right track today. So let's get into it right away. We're going to do with Paul Goldschmidt, higher than 8.5 fantasy points for the Yankees. You know, Goldie having this resurgent year with the Yankees, exactly what they need. He's not really in that kind of stagnant place anymore with the Cardinals. He's got a lot of exciting bats around him. Very good player. He gets to go hit against the lefty Nick Lodolo in good hitter weather, and about 92 degrees is what I'm expecting at the Great American Ballpark here in Cincinnati today. Goldie should get some RBIs. He should get some extra base hits. I think Goldschmidt higher than 8.5 fantasy points is going to be good because there's going to be a lot of guys on base in this matchup. Then I'm going to take Cal Raleigh higher than 1.5 total bases for the Seattle Mariners against Minnesota Twins. Bailey Ober is not pitching very well this year. Just the last several games, he's allowed 7 home runs in his last 3 starts. Think about that. Over 2 per game in his last 3 starts. He's allowed a lot of earned runs. I just think that there's going to be extra base hits available for Raleigh. I know everyone's just going to want to play the home run and check out the Dong Squad if you want that. But I think higher than 1.5 total bases is a good hedge on that. I think Goldie is safe, so 3x multiplier with Goldschmidt higher than 8.5 fantasy points. Cal Raleigh higher than 1.5 total bases. MLB entry number 2, we're going to Oneil Cruz higher than 0.5 runs for the Pirates against the Brewers and Chad Patrick. Oneil Cruz is the man who gets on base, steals a base, and gets home on any contact. So give me Oneil Cruz higher than 0.5 runs here, and then I'm going to pair that with Giancarlo Stanton higher than 0.5 RBIs. Again, I talked about the hitter conditions in Cincinnati. I think by the time they get to the meaty middle of this lineup on the Yankees, there's going to be traffic. There's going to be ducks on the pond. I think there's going to be opportunities for Giancarlo Stanton to get somebody across home plate. So Oneil Cruz higher than 0.5 runs for the Pirates and Giancarlo Stanton higher than 0.5 RBIs for the Yankees, 3x multiplier. Continue with our MLB entries. Eugenio Suarez higher than 0.5 RBIs. Eugenio had a hell of a series in Colorado, but it's not like it's going to get that much worse. He's going to Chicago, Rate Field, home of the White Sox. It's going to be 95 degrees in Chicago. Wind should be advantageous here. He's going against Shane Smith, who's actually not been terrible for the White Sox, but he allowed 5 earned in his last start against St. Louis as the weather started to improve. So I think that we can continue to ride the Eugenio Suarez wave higher than 0.5 RBIs. Then I'm going to take Luis Arraez higher than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs for the Padres tomorrow night, last game of the day against the Washington Nationals. Nationals have not been doing great on this road trip they won 1 game at the Dodgers, but still on the West Coast. Padres, I think, are going to be able to get it done, and I think that Mitch Parker is going to get hit by Luis Arraez here. 3.33x multiplier on that one. MLB entry number 4, Nolan Schanuel higher than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Nolan Schanuel should be feeling pretty good about himself after the last couple series he's had. I'm going to take Nolan Schanuel higher than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs against Walker Buehler. Walker Buehler is bad, That's it. Walker Buehler is just not a good pitcher right now. So I'm going to be fading him here, and then I'm going to take Jordan Westburg higher than 1.5 total bases for the Orioles as they face off against Patrick Corbin and the Rangers. That is a 3x multiplier. Pitcher's entry number 1, we're going to go with Allan, Winans, and Nick Lodolo higher than 0.5 home runs. Or sorry, higher than 0.5 first inning runs allowed, but it will probably be a home run. Winans making his first start of the year for the Yankees, getting his first major league time this year for the Yankees, and Lodolo, lefty against the righties in the lineup for the Yankees. Good luck, my friend. I don't think it's going to go very well. So higher than 0.5 first inning runs allowed in that Reds-Yankees game. Weather is going to allow the ball to sail. Then Walker Buehler and Jared Kochanowicz higher than 0.5 first inning runs allowed in the Red Sox-Angels, another game where I think we're going to see the ball fly out of the park. 2.73x multiplier on that one. Then we're going to go to pitchers number 2. Patrick Corbin, Trevor Rogers, lower than 0.5 first inning runs allowed. I do think that these guys are going to be able to at least keep the base runners in control for 3 outs each. And I think we're going to get out of the first inning here. Patrick Corbin having a resurgent year this year, to be honest. And he can go 2-3 innings very, very clean. It's a little bit later in his start, usually where the issues start to arise. Then I'm going to pair this with Eduardo Rodriguez and Shane Smith higher than 0.5 first inning runs allowed. Eduardo Rodriguez in his 5.93 ERA, his 1.62 WHIP. He is the weak spot in this lineup for the in this rotation for the Diamondbacks. And then Shane Smith, as I said, a little chink in the armor last time he started. And again, against this Diamondbacks offense, he could definitely give up a run in the first inning. So 3.15x multiplier on that. Corbin and Rogers in the Rangers Orioles lower than 0.5 first inning runs allowed. Rodriguez and Smith higher than 0.5 first inning runs allowed in the Diamondbacks against White Sox. 3.15x multiplier. Let's get into some tennis here. Lerner Tien higher than 0.5 sets lost versus Engel. Tien is not adjusting well to the grass court. He needs to try to get something together here because it's going to be, Wimbledon is not going to be a fun experience for him if he doesn't make something happen here. And then I'm going to take Lorenzo Sonego higher than 23.5 games played against Fabian Marozsan. These guys can both hold serve. I think that we're going to get tie breaks in the first 2 sets, or they'll just split the first 2 sets, and then the third will be a tie break. Either way, lots of ways for this to get over 23.5. Either guy could win in straights. We could get there. Obviously, 3 sets, very highly likelihood that we get there. I think Sonego's been good on grass, and Marozsan, who's got a lot of talent, has shown some promise there as well. 2.13x multiplier on that one. A little bit juicy, but I think it's worth it because we're trying to make money. We're not always trying to have the long shots. Those will come later. Naomi Osaka in tennis entry number 2. Naomi Osaka higher than 22.5 games played against Olga Danilovich. I think, but again, holding serve is going to happen. Ons Jabeur higher than 21.5 games against Maya Joint. Again, Jabeur doesn't have that dominant serve, and Joint does have some power, the young player. So 3x multiplier on that one. Let's go to the FIFA Club World Cup. I know that we haven't really done this yet, but we got some opportunities now. Julian Alvarez higher than 0.5 goals and assists for Atletico Madrid here. They need a win, and they need their stars to perform. That's going to be the whole theme of the day here with all these players. He's paired with Vitinha higher than 0.5 goals and assists for PSG. 3.42x multiplier there. FIFA World Cup number 2, Mohamed El Schanuel. He's a goalie. I'm going to take him higher than 1.5 goals allowed. Schanuel and El Ahly, they are probably going to get destroyed by Porto. Porto needs to work on the goal differential here. So that's going to be entry or leg 1 of this entry. And then number 2 is going to be Lionel Messi higher than 0.5 goals scored. 5.42x multiplier. Miami needs to win as well. So I'm just going all my needs on this cup or on these FIFA Club World Cup entries. So 1, Julian Alvarez higher than half of a goal plus assists. Vitinha higher than half of a goal plus assist, 3.42. Number 2, soccer entry, Mohamed El Schanuel higher than 1.5 goals allowed. Lionel Messi higher than 0.5 goals, 5.42x. All right, lotto number 1, Samuel Almirodian, a.k.a. Samu of Porto, higher than 0.5 goals. Luis Arraez higher than 1.5 total bases. Luke Raley higher than 0.5 RBIs. 11.63x multiplier or 5.81x / 1.73x. If you flex it, it goes 2 out of 3. Dong Squad number 1. Cal Raleigh higher than 0.5 home runs. Kettle Marte higher than 0.5 home runs. Tyler Stevenson higher than 0.5 home runs. 50.49x multiplier, 25.243x if it goes 3 for 3 on the flex, and slightly less in, about 3x if it goes 2 out of 3 on the flex. So it's a little bit of a chalkier one thanks to Cal Raleigh. Dunk squad number 2, Joe Adele, higher than 0.5 home runs against Walker Buehler. I saw Ferris Bueller's Day Off the other day. It's a sign. Walker Buehler's going to have a bad day in Anaheim. Ronald Acuna Jr. higher than 0.5 home runs. Got to get those home run picks in against Blackburn while he's in the game. Acuna is not going to miss an at bat because he's the first batter of the game for the Braves. And then Manny Machado higher than 0.5 home runs. 74.47x multiplier or 37.23x if it goes 3 out of 3 on the flex. 5.72x if it goes 2 out of 3 on the flex. All right, that's all I got for you today. Good luck on your picks, and let's make some money.